what can you say? I love Ernest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did a review of Ernest Goes to Jail, so check that out.
Yeah, which I loved.
Yeah, actually, for me, it's a tough pick, but it's either Ernest Goes to Jail or Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah,
my favorite.
I don't know which one I liked better either, to be honest. I loved both of them. And I'm coming at this new. I never watched these growing up. So I'm seeing these for the first time when we watch them. And I love everything about them. They're cartoony, but they're also like endearing, and Ernest is amazing. Jim Varney's an incredible actor. He's so animated. Every facial expression he does is something I could never do. I love that sideways, like kind of laugh that he does like all the time. Every time that hits, it's one of my favorite moments of the movie.
Yeah. Like, he's such a noble character all the time. Like, he's always trying to do the right thing, but he's like, he's a screw up. But that's really cool to know that, seeing it fresh, all this time, that you could still enjoy it as much. Yeah. Because I saw this in the theater. I think it was the last one that he did that was really good. I think after that it started to go downhill, but still, he kept it going for a while. So this movie, I mean, it is the perfect fun horror comedy where it's kind of got like horror elements. I mean, there's parts in it that are really creepy. Yeah. But it also is really funny. The opening credits, I remember I always loved as a kid because all it is Ernest reacting to all these horror clips, which are all public domain. It's Nosferatu, Hideous Sun Demon, Brain from Planet Arrows, and Screaming Skull, and probably some others. But I remember just the opening credits, I was just always wanting to find out what are all those movies. Yeah, that one that they show with the giant brain and the guy is attacking it with the axe. Yeah.
Brain from Planet Arrows. Is that okay? Yeah. I think they use that in Malcolm in the Middle's intro as well. So,
but there's a lot of killer brain movies, so it took me a long time to figure out which one it was. But the plot of this movie, it's just Ernest fighting trolls.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he I guess his descendants put a troll into the ground, and of course Ernest generations later or unearths this troll. Yeah. And of course he's trying to tell the townspeople, like, look, there's a troll running around, and no one believes him except for the kids who actually do. Yeah. But of course no one's gonna believe kids and Ernest. Yeah. When Ernest is always just he almost kills himself in the beginning of the movie by getting stuck in a garbage compactor. The first thing he does.
Yeah. So he's like the friendly neighborhood garbage man, and he helps the neighborhood kids build this epic treehouse.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean that treehouse was amazing. Like I wanted something like that as a kid.
I never had a treehouse as a kid, but every time you see these movies, like there's so many movies from this time that there's a treehouse, but it's the most amazing treehouse you could ever build in the world. Yeah. And I used to just always want a treehouse so bad because of these movies. Yeah. Anytime there's a movie with kids in a treehouse, I'm just like, I'm into it because it just makes me think about what it was like being a kid again. Yeah, running around in like the woods and stuff like that. Parents used to make you actually play outside. Yeah. You weren't allowed to play video games until, it was dark. No,
but of course, this treehouse happens to be built on an ancient tree, which is where the trolls
it's used to entomb this troll. And of course, Ernest goes about doing everything that he shouldn't to make this troll come back out.
Yeah, because there's this old hermit played by Eartha Kitt who is the only person who knows about the troll. Yeah. And, I guess she's like, everybody else thinks she's just like the neighborhood, like lunatic or whatever. She was around, or she was a kid, I think.
I think she was like one of the little kids who didn't get caught.
Which was like a long time ago. And now in the present day, she's like this old hermit living alone. She's like, freaking out over like the troll's going to come back. And if you say the magic words, that's the thing. She could just not tell him the magic words and they'd be fine. Of course, she tells Ernest the magic words, and then of course he goes over to the tree and says the words, and and then revives the troll.
And Eartha Kitt is like, she is
Catwoman.
And she keeps up with Ernest the entire time. She is just as good as he is in this movie. She's really funny because she's so weird and creepy. But her acting is just as like over the top as Ernest is.
Yeah.
Where you think like, you know, when we were talking about like Dumb and Dumber, where people were saying like, oh, you're not going to be able to keep up with Jim Carrey. She is step for step with Ernest in this movie. She's great.
Yeah. There's parts where like she like talks in like a really low voice, like she's reading off a book or something, and then she says something loud, and Ernest. It looks like Jim Varney is genuinely like startled every time she like.
This one is, I would say I like this one as much as Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
Ernest Goes to Jail is a lot more lighthearted. This movie has its moments that are downright upsetting. This is a movie I could see, you take your kids to, but it's horrifying at times. And there's a lot of movies from that time that were like that. There were kids' movies that are terrifying and
it's like
as a
pockets
kid.
of terror, of like pockets of fear mixed with all this comedy. Like the scene that sticks out, like because when I saw this in the theater, like it just freaked me out. But I think in a fun way. I mean, I loved that I was freaked out, but it was the scene in the bedroom where the little girl is like looking under her bed for the troll, and then she comes up and the troll's like laying in her bed next to her. That really like got to me.
Yeah. Also, when the troll is chasing the other friend and he's using the voice of the little girl, it's really creepy. Like she's just like, "Hey, I'm coming for you," and it's this troll running, and the troll is really gross. Like it's nasty looking.
Like every time it opens its mouth, there's like slime stuck to it.
It's got like boogers coming out of it. And it has two noses that are both like boogers are just everywhere. It's so gross.
Oh, and the effects were done by the Kyoto brothers.
Oh,
They did Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they actually, I think they were on like a time constraint when they did this. They actually, we're pretty sure that they recycled some of the clowns from Killer Clowns. Because people have done screenshots where they basically took like the killer clown mask and they would paint it brown, and so they basically just modified the same like masks.
That's one thing too I noticed was like, because the main troll that's throughout most of the movie is really articulated. Its mouth moves, its eyes and everything. But the other ones are just kind of like still faces sometimes. Like there was one that gets hit, I think it falls, and it's just like its face just doesn't change at all. But it didn't take away anything from it. I think honestly, like the one thing I will say though, when eventually they find out the troll's weakness and they spray one of the trolls, and this thing it explodes in this like kind of like digital effect, which is funny and all. But then when they show it, it's a pile of gore. And bones. And I was just like, whoa, like, wait a minute. It's like pulsating, bloody weirdness.
As a kid, that blew my mind. I was like, wow, that is awesome.
It was like, I couldn't believe it was, because this movie seems like throughout most of it, it's a kid's movie. It doesn't seem like, and I think that's also why like it's funny is because it's so cartoony, but it seems like a kid's movie. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it gets scary and gross, like
because it has a body count, like that the troll is. I mean, he doesn't actually kill the kids because they come back again in the end. He turns them all into statues.
Yep.
But temporarily, those kids, they're out of the picture. Like every time when he like takes one of those kids, like their soul or whatever, it's just like oh shit, like you're not going to see that character again.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you have this funny Ernest movie, but then you have this troll who's basically like killing off kids. And like I said, they come back at the end, but it's really dark.
Yeah, it is.
But then getting back to the funny parts, the one gag that really stands out is the Miak. Because, early on, there's a smudge in the book where there's like the Eartha Kitt's reading off this old book, and it has the only way you can kill the troll. And it says milk, but the L is blurred out, so Ernest just assumes it's Miak.
Yeah.
Which right away you're like, okay, there's no such thing as Miak. It's just like Ernest is an idiot. It's funny enough, but then later on, it comes back to it. He actually finds Miak.
Yeah, he has a jar of Miak in his hand.
And it only raises more questions because he says to the troll, he's like, I bet you didn't think I could find any of this time of year. So it's seasonal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, okay, it's Bulgarian, it's seasonal. Is this a real thing? Like that, it actually got me wondering if it's real. And I don't think it is, but people have like made Miak. So it's kind of become like something that's sort of come into existence because of this movie.
Yeah, that's
like,
funny.
Yeah. And nobody even knows what it really is. Like, it's like a honey or a syrup, maybe.
Like a marmalade or something.
Yeah, but it just has you wondering, like...
Yeah.
I want some miak.
Yeah, anybody from Bulgaria, let us know if you have any miak.
If you have miak.
Yeah. Miak.
None of that imitation shit. Authentic Bulgarian miak.
I think what I like the most about this movie is that it reminds me of what it's like to be a kid. And when Halloween was really awesome, when it would just get your imagination going. Because the kids in this movie are the heroes.
Yep.
And, you know, they have their water pistols, which it's like you got tree houses and water pistols.
They had the Super Soaker 50, by the way, which was like, that was the yellow one.
Yeah, but then they did like the 100. And it was like every kid had to like get the next best one. And then they had that like ZX 2000 one, which was like
the one that went on your back. And you actually pulled a lever and it was like, that thing hurt. I remember a friend of mine sprayed me in the eye with it. And so much water went into my eye that like I couldn't open my eye, and then I went like this and water poured out onto my face. Like it got trapped in my upper eyelid.
Jeez.
So
At first I thought you meant hurt your hand to like pump.
No, he like hit me square in the eyeball, and I guess like the water just rocketed into my brain.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
So he might say he stabbed my eyeball with that.
Well, at least you had eyeballs.
Oh, the worst when you get like water up your eye.
Yeah.
But I remember the Super Soaker 50 was like better because it was like, you could like pump it out faster. But like
that was like the baseline. Like I had a Super Soaker 50. I had a friend who had like every one of them, and I was just like, they all shot almost the same. I would say the 50 wasn't much worse than the 100.
Yeah.
But we digress.
The police are inept in this movie. It's like one of those movies where the adults are always the shitheads. Where like they either don't believe it or they don't know how to handle it.
The cop is awful because the parents are like, my kid has been gone for a few days. Like help me out. And then the cop's just like, well, he's probably at the party. Just go to the party. Like, and it's like, wow, dude. Like you should probably look for these kids, man.
Yeah, so it's like the kids got to step up and fight the trolls with Ernest. So it's kind of like it's one of those movies that empowers the kids, like Home Alone or like Three Ninjas, that kind of stuff. I mean, this is one of the most Halloween movies.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes place on Halloween. It's about monsters and stuff during a Halloween party and everything.
And it's kid friendly, even though it is a little creepy. It pushes some boundaries.
But I'd still show it to kids. Like, it's not that bad. I don't think this is something that might freak a kid out a little bit. But it's like
you gotta get freaked out every once in a while. Like, you gotta work your way up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, right. You can't just jump in.
You need these steps.
Yeah. One thing, actually, at the part where the crowd is going after the cop, where they're just like, my kid's been missing, all this stuff, and there's this one part that cracked me up where all the parents are like, my kid hasn't come home, like you gotta help me find my kid. And one guy's like, my garbage hasn't been picked up in 3 days or something because Ernest was, and he doesn't, like, there's these kids going missing, and this guy is just there because his garbage hasn't been picked up, and he's yelling at this cop.
Wow.
And that part just made me, like, crack up, because there's a few lines like that where it's just, like, these throwaway lines, but it's pretty funny, like, that, they would, when all this horrible stuff is going on, there's one guy in there who doesn't care. He just wants his garbage picked up by Ernest. And also, Ernest.
It's always him failing at some kind of job. Basically.
Yeah, like I imagine that after Ernest goes to jail, he didn't make it at the bank, so now he's in this town. Yeah, kind of thing, like because I was like Rimshot's there, and everyone kind of knows him there, but he's not in the same town he was in the first time. He's not a banker. Yeah. So I imagine he kind of like left and was like, you know what, bye, I'm done in this town. I got to go off to another.
Yeah, but then there's also those two guys that the Penn and Teller type.
Oh like, that are guys. Always like hanging. Yeah,
it's clearly like an homage to Penn and Teller. The one guy who doesn't talk. Yeah. So, but every movie they have like a different business or something else that they're getting into. So
yeah, he was like security in the other one, I think, and in this one they're just these awful salespeople. Yeah. They sell Ernest all the troll stuff for like $1,000 for they rack his bill up.
Yeah, they have all that like troll repellent stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and he says the thing where it's like, oh, do you have that album of all the troll love songs ever made? And he's like, and he pulls it out, and it's an album of troll songs.
Yeah.
Also, Ernest's like multiple personalities he does throughout the whole thing, where when he's explaining about the treehouse, and he cuts into this like Australian kind of outback hunter guy. These older women. Julius Caesar, the Ottoman Empire guy. It's really crazy.
And also to get this out of the way, we've always been calling it a treehouse. It's not just a treehouse; it's like a fortress.
Yeah, it has weapons and stuff. It is a fully like functional like death house. That thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I just love this movie, love it to death, and yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Go and see it for sure. Or, well, not go and see it. Rent it or, buy it if you can. What do you think?
I liked it.